So Butterfly and I, she's up there scraping away. I wanted to show you all something. I took all these screws out right here, all the way across the front. That's just one of the weather stripping you can see. The bottom weather stripping just over the cab. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to show you what you're going to see. On the right side of the screen is from the driver's side, and the left side of the screen is from the passenger side. Same exact screws originally, and you can see the difference. Let me see if I can get a little bit of focus there. So obviously most of the wet that was being encountered in there, or was saturating in there, was coming on the passenger side. You can see those ones on the right, they're still pretty decent, and those, that's the layout. Driver side, passenger side. So I just wanted y'all to see, and those are that's literally how they came out of that weather stripping. So we're going to replace them. We'll walk over here real quick and I'll show you what we're replacing with. I've got some new screws set up with some washers. We're going to use these guys right here. They're a little bit thinner, but we're going into a brand new sheet, or a brand new sheet of, or a brand new 2x4, sorry. And I put a washer on there. We're going to bead that with some silicone before we put it back up in the hole. That'll drill up into the new 2x4 inside, and that'll draw the 2x4 tight to the tin on the bottom side where that weather stripping is, and we should have a nice, clean, waterproof seal there. So Butterfly will get back to you on what we're doing next. Peace.
Hey guys, so I just took the sander to it. That sanding sponge that I used is freaking awesome, by the way. But yeah, now you can clearly see the holes all the way along the side. See those holes? A lot of those weren't visible the last time, so I'm really glad I decided to use the flex tape to seal that area. So it's gonna go basically, like I said, from this right here, where I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get this camera to angle a little better. But there's a middle piece under that right here. Well, okay, you can see it really good over here. Focus. See this? Okay, maybe it's not metal, but it's basically a boundary. So we're gonna go from that piece down. The tape's gonna go all along the seam that you see here, all the way across, and we're going to try and get it over these holes too. And then once we put the frame down, we're going to put those screws back in. I'm going to be in here holding the frame down as he screws the aluminum back through those holes tight to the frame, so it gives it that structure. Now, as you can see, my sanding sponge kind of fell apart because there's all these little teeny things right here, and I'm not sure what they go to, but they're sticking out everywhere. There's like a cluster of them in this corner right here. You see that? So it kind of took the crap out of my sanding sponge, but anyway, I was able to get that all out. So now I'm going to plug in the shop vac and vacuum all the excess off so it's a nice clean surface, and then we're going to do the Lysol, let that dry, and then we can start rebuilding. So I'll let you guys know how it goes. See you soon. I just finished spraying it down with Lysol. I figured I'd show you guys, even though everybody knows what Lysol is, right? Get it? Especially people who have colds or whatever, spray it everywhere. So yeah, I sprayed it all down, put the fan back on it. We're going to let it dry really good, and then we're going to start building. So I'll let you know how it goes. Guys, I'm really sorry that we didn't record this because it was actually pretty funny. We put the rubber tape, like seal tape, on this so that, and it took two of us. Like, this was no joke. This stuff is like really sticky, and it says the more pressure and the longer it's on, the better hold it will be. But yeah, like he started here at this side, and I was on that side on my knees holding the thing together, and basically went very slowly all the way up like this, all the way to the tip and then wrapped it around to the backside. But this is going to be the part that's going to be face down on the aluminum. So this is an airtight, watertight seal. So it makes it pretty much one piece. But it took 2 rolls of this to do this. Just in case you ever want to do something that's 8 feet long, you're going to need 2 rolls of that stuff. Just so you know. Yeah, so the tape measure is basically they're showing you, I need 42 inches, so it's showing 43, just to be on the safe side, but I'm basically going to cut off where that tape measure is about 1 inch to the left. I'm going to cut off that, and it should be perfect for enough to hang out where, when I do get to doing the 2 parts on the side of the U, that I'll have enough overlap where whatever's rotted under the 2 sides on the side of the U will not damage the new stuff putting in, if that makes sense. Yeah, but yeah, that was pretty funny. I'm sorry I didn't do it, and I still have some left over, as you see. So yeah, it worked out really well. And the other thing is, when I was doing the sanding, I noticed that the screws were coming out the sides too, and there were leaks in there, so I figured they'd be rusty too. So these are the ones that he already showed you. Focus. That he had the washers and stuff for, and of course I had a ton of these screws in my little toolkit here. So, and I happened to grab the right size washers when I went for that run to Walmart to get the extra washers and screws that we needed, where I had enough where we could use the washers for that. So I counted, and it was 16 screws all on the sides. Now when we put this new frame in, all this side right here, focus, is going to have brand new 2x4. So when we put these screws back in, almost all the way to this crack, I believe, then they're going to go into the new 2x4. And they're going to give it a seal like no other. I'll show you the screws that we took out of there, but they were about as bad as the front screws were. So yeah, I took these out. Yes, me. Not Chris. Me. I did it. Yes, I can work with power tools if I know how to use them. So yeah, I took all those out so that we can get everything flush, and when we get it flush to the aluminum, then we can put this all the screws, the new screws, back in and have a really nice tight seal. These were the screws that just came out of the siding. Now if you see, they're pretty much as bad as the other screws. They really weren't holding on to anything either, because the wood that was in there was rotted anyway. And these were just so wet for so long that they literally just deteriorated. So those are the screws on the sides. These ones had some kind of gooey stuff on them. They were kind of sporadic. See, I don't know, you didn't see that, but that just, like, I pulled them apart and it just kind of, like, it's very tacky, whatever that stuff is. So yeah, so we're going to put all new screws in, all along the sides, all on the front, into the new 2x4, through this rubber matting that is going to keep everything nice and clean and dry, airtight, moisture tight, everything. And then patch the holes where the Winnebago sign is, basically. So from that left reflector here, this circular one, all the way to the right and all the way up that window, or at least down by where this goes in underneath, where the seam is gonna all have that tape on it. And then the wood, and then we're going to screw the screws through this, through the rubber, through the wood, and it's going to be watertight. And it's going to be really strong. Probably stronger than it's been in 30 years. So, yeah, hold on, I'll flip you around. So, that's the update. Right now, he went to Jackson's soccer practice because he only gets to be here. He has to leave out again, like, tomorrow. Late night tomorrow, but still tomorrow. So he's only got pretty much tonight. We've got to work on this. I've got to leave next week. My birthday is on the 12th, so I have no idea if I'm going to be spending that here. somewhere else or whatever, but I spent a lot of money a lot more than I expected to spend on this project, put it that way. So I'm going to be really tight this month for cash. Yeah, so when he gets back, we're going to be working on the rest. If I do video, it's probably going to be a little darker. I apologize for that. I can't do anything. I'm going to try and get as much light in as I can, but it's a lot easier for us to work in after the dark, after the sun goes down, because it's like 100 degrees today. It's really hot, if you couldn't tell. I'm sweating like crazy. I just took a shower too before we started this, and it's just redundant. But yeah, hopefully we can get most of this done tonight, and then I can concentrate the next couple of days on getting everything back in where it's supposed to be, and I'll be ready to hit the road again and go to California and save my best friend from her horrible relationship. And I might be stopping on the way. I'm not sure yet. So the only thing after this that we have to do is the tune-up with the plugs and wires. So once that's done, and this is all completed, don't worry, there's still a lot of video left to show you, then I should be okay for a while. I would hope so, at least. And I have a little bit of the rubber matting left over, so I can do like, and the insulation. I know I'm going to have more insulation left over, so I'm sure I can put more of that in like the battery box, and then put like some of the rubber, probably staple the rubber around it. That may be a project for after I leave here. I'm not sure. It really depends on how long it takes us to complete this one, because this is a really, really big project, and it's a lot bigger and costs a lot more than I was expecting. So yeah, I will keep you guys posted, and I'll show you what we're doing later. I decided to stay back because I'm still trying to catch up on some videos, so I may be posting some really quickly. So just keep your eyes open, alright? See you soon. Peace out. So I'm back in here. It smells like Lysol really bad in here, but that's a good thing. At least it doesn't smell like mold anymore. So this is what I was telling you about. This little metal piece right here, the L, I don't know, it's kind of an L bracket, but it goes all the way down to the other side, and I can't really get the angle right with this, but see, it covers all the way from the wall to the front. So it'll give us that extra support that we need to make sure this is nice and sturdy and it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm going to take this off. I'm going to spray this down one more time with Lysol. We're going to let it dry, and as we're letting it dry, we're going to cut the rubber mat that we made to fit. Sorry, I'm still kind of an amateur at this, so bear with me. So yeah, we're going to let this dry while we cut the rubber mat to fit like I showed you already. And once this is dry, then we should be good. So let's do this, shall we? Chris just got back. I thought he'd be about longer, but whatever. No biggie. So yeah, I guess I'm going to start at this side and work my way to the front.
It's not even coming out, it's that rotted.
Wow, look at that. Look at that. Do you see that? Look at that. Hold on, let me focus. Look at that. There's like nothing to it. These screws are going to have to be replaced as well. Yeah. I was going to yell. It just, the head of it just broke right off. That is so bad. Yo, this is one of the things. This is one of the first things that I'm going to be replacing. This one is even less. Look at this. It's pretty much just the head. Wow. This is
So bad.
That one won't even come out. It'll probably come out once I get the rest of the screws out. This one can pretty much just be, yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is so bad, y'all. So bad. one doesn't want to come out either. I may have to call. There's nothing left to these screws. It's been leaking for so long that there's literally nothing left to them. And the wood underneath is just so rotted. There's nothing to... That one definitely isn't coming out. I'm trying not to lean on the aluminum as much as possible. Wow. Again, that's another one that just came out. Nothing left to the screw. Nothing. Yeah, that helps, right? Gimme. I'm really trying not to lean on the aluminum as much as humanly possible. Wow. They're just falling right out. There's nothing left to this freaking wall. This is crazy, y'all. This entire wall has to be redone. I don't know, we may have to hammer those last two out. Because they're not, the wood is so rotted and the screws are so rotted. Look at that. They're basically just the heads. There's like nothing left to these screws at all. So yeah, I mean, I got it out. We're gonna have to find a way to get the last couple of screws out of here. I'm glad I decided to do that because I didn't, you know, I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was that bad, you know, so yeah. I am gonna spray this whole section one more time with Lysol and let it dry. And we're going to cut the rubber for the bottom while it's drying, and then I'll let you guys see what we do next. See you later. So Chris got back from soccer practice. How'd Jackson do, by the way? Awesome. Awesome. He gave this.
He did good. He did good.
So yeah, we just checked it. We're again assessing things, trying to figure out the best way to do this. So we are going to put those L brackets that I just took out in there. Once everything, the frame and everything is in there, we're going to use those L brackets to connect everything to the rotten wood on the walls and the sides of the U that we're not doing. And like I said, the rubber is going to overlap, so it's going to be between the new stuff and the old stuff that we're not doing, as well as the walls. So that way, when I have more time and more means to do it, I can continue rebuilding that out, but right now we're doing the main important parts. I'm kind of out of time here, so we're crunched on time. We're beating the clock. I just Lysoled it again for the third time, so that should be enough to kill all the bacteria. So thank you, Camp Goer. I appreciate the tips and stuff. I did not have the means to go over it with bleach and water or whatever, so the Lysol just seemed like the best bet. So yeah. So we're waiting for that to dry. When that dries completely, we're going to start with the Flex Seal tape, doing the U. And we're going to do the one that's half size and do where the Winnebago sign is, all the way from one side to the other to cover all of those holes. Once that gets done, hold on. So, sorry about that, Megan and Jackson just got back from soccer practice, but, so yeah. So the first thing we're going to do once that is completely dry, we are going to do the U with the big tape. We're going to make sure that that is all sealed up. We are also going to use the half size of this tape to do the Winnebago sign. I think I already told you guys that, but that's how bad my memory is. So yeah, so once we get those down, then we're going to put the weather stripping, the foam weather stripping I showed you around the U to go over those little pins, which should go through this. And even if they don't, when we put the weather stripping down, we'll be able to tell where they are, so we can put the weather stripping where it needs to be. So when we put the 2x4s down, it'll be in the right spot. And once we screw the 2x4s in, then it should pressurize it enough to actually close it in completely. And then we're gonna put the weather stripping for the front. Where we're putting the tape in the front, where the Winnebago sign is, we're going to put the weather stripping over those little screws that I saw, and where the screw holes are that we took out. And so when we put the frame down with the 2x4s, then when it all gets screwed back in, and I'm holding it from the inside and he's holding it, or screwing it in from the outside, then it'll all compress together and completely be strong. And then once everything's down, including that board right there, which is the 3/4 inch plywood, which will bring it completely perfect for the second piece that I took out of the cushion to be put down on the other side where the U is.
A-okay.
Then we're gonna put the iron, like, L bracket kind of thing, the long one that you just saw me took out. We're gonna put that in to screw everything together on each side, and that way it'll give it the support it needs. So with all of that stuff combined, it's going to be completely supported, watertight, moisture tight, airtight, everything. It's going to be like new for the most part, at least half of it will. So I'm happy about that because it's the worst half. And then I can maybe do the rest of the van build. Van build. That's dyslexia. That's what dyslexia does. Fan build instead of fan build. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're just waiting on the third coat of Lysol to dry, and then we're gonna get going, and I will show you guys as we go. Thanks for watching. Peace out. See you soon. Alright guys, so this is how we're making a straight line.
Doing the second cut right now.
Cutting it to fit. That's truss right there.
Down there.
This is how you make sure the vinyl doesn't go anywhere when you're trying to cut it. Voila. See that? Done.
I am the man. I win at life.
What's that?
I win at life. Timmy.
And we'll show you the rest.
Just go over there. I just want to fold it over.
So here's the finished product, guys. It's really strong. Really strong.
I'm not exaggerating. I'm actually pulling on that. That's that Flex Seal tape.
Actually, that's the Gorilla tape. The Flex Seal.
I'm pulling on that really, really, really hard.
Just as good, but you get twice as much with the Gorilla tape. Same thing. Does the same exact thing in every way. So that's going to be... This is going to be the top part, this side, where you can see that it's got like a seam. But this side right here is completely seamless. Hold on, right there. See this? Completely seamless. This is going to be the bottom half. This is going to be the half that's along the aluminum. So this is all set. This is ready to go in. We just have to do our the other tape where the Winnebago is from one side to the other, and put the weather stripping down. And once we do that and get that where we need it, then we can put the rubber down, and then after the rubber, then we can put the framing down. But you're going to need to saw those boards to the right size. And he's going to do the measuring this time because I'm a little dyslexic, and I think that had a lot to do with it. Yeah. So he's going to do and remeasure what I tried to measure before, because I get everything backwards. So, yeah. I mean, it comes to the territory. I'll let you know how it goes.
Don't mind me.